कटक सुप्रीम कोर्ट मुख्य विचारपति जस्टिस सूर्य कांत हाईकोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन एक आलोचना चक्र से जोग देइछंती जहाँ सूचना रहुछि सीधा सड़क चित्र आपण देखि
When on 24th November 25 I assumed the office of the Chief Justice of India, a swarm of reporters surrounded me. My media friends are always there when I go, and I am very thankful to them. They ask sometimes very intelligent, very pertinent questions. So some of them, rather each one of them would definitely ask a question which is very common, that what is my vision? So of course many of them would expect that I will give very elaborate institutional blueprint that I am going to do this, I am going to do this, that's my planning. But probably to that extent I may not be very encouraging for them, because I have not said so many things except to say that the first goal I could verbalize is very simple, and that goal is to ensure justice for the common man. That is the mission I am carrying, and with your active support, cooperation, a collaborative approach, a commitment, I am quite sure that we will be able to march that difficult path and reach at the milestone. Everything else, my dear friends, for me, from reform to technology to ADR, flows from this single moral imperative. Yesterday I was in Jaisalmer inaugurating the West Zone Regional National Judicial Academy Conference. There also I spoke something quite similar, that the true test of our judicial system is not in its theories, but in the lived experience of the ordinary citizen. We reflected on how the rule of law acquires meaning when justice feels predictable, accessible, and humane. The discussions there centered around on a simple ideal, namely that every reform must ultimately lighten the burden on the common litigant, reduce uncertainty, and affirm dignity. Please keep these three principles in mind when I say justice to the common man, and these are the ingredients of that justice, namely the reduction of burden on the common man, reduction of uncertainty, and affirmation of dignity. The themes may have worn different clothes in Jaisalmer, but their heartbeat was the same. Today's symposium is most timely in confronting the two obstacles that frequently stand between the common man and the true justice. What are those two obstacles? One, the cost of litigation, and second, the delay in its resolution. So let us examine the human face of delay. Allow me to begin with a memory from my days as a young lawyer in district and high court, the days when I spent most of the time in dusty corridors than in air-conditioned chambers. One afternoon, I noticed an elderly farmer waiting outside a courtroom. He had a matter listed at such a number that it might come the turn or the turn may not come. It was already 3 p.m. So I asked him out of concern, as normally in part of the states, in our side, we sometimes call them as Tau or Taya or Chacha, whatever you, but normally we call as Baba. Why are you still waiting? Your case may not be taken up today. He smiled sadly and said, Beta, if I go home early, the other side will think I have given up. And that is what is a question must introspect each one of us. That moment has stayed with me for all these decades. For him, Delay was not a docket statistic. It was a quiet erosion of dignity. And cost was not a legal expenditure. It was a financial winter he had to endure.